Welcome to Transparency Tales, a thought provoking podcast hosted by yours truly, Calandria Carter. And today, the topic of the day is being a self believer. What does that mean? How can we become a self believer? And overall, the thought of self believing. And so, I wanted to go back to a time I wanted to start a YouTube channel. And I did, and I was around 13 in middle school in seventh grade. And I made a video a little bit about me. And I wanted to play a little bit of that clip because I wanted to really show what I thought about myself at that time. So I'm gonna let it play. Play the clip.
What do you want to do when you grow up? When I grow up, I don't know, because I could be a lot of stuff because I do a lot of things. I could be an author, creative writer. I could be a visual artist. I could be a dancer, a stylist, because I do braid. I could be a lot of stuff.
Okay. Now that y'all have seen the clip, y'all see a little bit of how I thought about myself. I thought of myself as a creative, as a dancer, as artistic. I thought I could achieve and do anything that I wanted to do. And I had on an ASU shirt, which was so funny because I attend ASU today and I still believe those things about me. Everything that that little girl said, I still believe everything wholeheartedly with my heart that I could achieve all those things. And let's talk about how did I gain this trait. It kind of starts young, growing up, being a dancer, placed in that environment. Your parents tell you you are a star, you could do anything you want to do, you're just everything to your parents, right? And a lot of people don't have that. And so how do you give yourself that if you have nobody in your ear telling you you're a star and planting those seeds of being a self believer? How can we give that to ourselves? And I want to say that that spark that my parents raised me with, it did leave me at one point. At one point in middle school, you start self doubting and saying, I can't do this, I can't do that. So, how do you, if not, gain that characteristic? If you had it, how do you keep it? And I wanted to talk about that a little bit today. Resilience is a thing that is very hard. It's a thing that I feel like takes practice. Resilience doesn't become easy. That's not an easy characteristic or skill to have. When you're resilient, that takes effort. So, how do you gain those opportunities to even become resilient? Putting yourself out there. I would say start with putting yourself out there for the things that you want. You may not always get it. It was a lot of things, and still to this day, that I want to do, that I ask around, hey, can I do this? Hey, can I do that? Hey, let's do this? Or I take it upon myself to go out there and put myself out there for things that I feel like I deserve or I want, and I may not get them. That doesn't mean you don't deserve them. Just hold that thought. So when it comes to self believing, and making sure you're putting yourself out there for those opportunities that align with what you want, what you feel like you deserve, and what you believe you can achieve. That does not mean it is obligated or expected of you to receive those things at that time. Clock it, clock it. That does not mean you will receive those things at that time. And that's where the resilience and building that characteristic comes in. You have to be resilient in the thought that you keep letting that thought circle back. It's almost like having a suicidal thought or having a self doubt thought. They keep coming like seeds, like the devil. Like they say, even with religion, you come in and the devil's telling you these things all over and over and over again, and you have to kind of fight that. You have to fight those negative thoughts and keep pushing positive thoughts. That same ideology, you have to do that with becoming a self believer and becoming resilient. You have to literally say to yourself, I deserve this. I deserve this. I deserve this. I want this. I want this. I deserve this. I believe I can do this. I believe I can do this. And you have to keep that circling through your head, and that will build your resilience. Because a lot of people say, hey, I'm resilient. How did you become resilient? What did you go through to make you resilient? Sometimes you need to be humble. Sometimes you need that no. Appreciate every no you get because you know you're closer to that yes. Okay? Clock it. So that is how you build that resilience. I would say start there. Let's go and continue on. Okay, becoming a self believer and saying, hey, I could do this also comes with work. But work without faith is dead, and faith without work is dead. They coexist. So as you're becoming, you have to realize you're becoming. This is a process. Like life is a never-ending, perpetual process, and you'll get to every new phase that you feel like you deserve and want in life at whatever rate the universe or God wants to give it to you. So you have to know that this is a process. I'm slowly getting there and I'm slowly achieving this, but you have your work ethic has to align with the faith. I think I want to do this. So your work ethic has to be consistent so it can align so you can get at that era, because you'll never get at that era if you're not putting in the work, or if your faith is low and you're putting in all this work but you have no faith. You see what I'm saying? It's not aligning. You need to get yourself in alignment. So I would say make sure your faith in yourself is as equal as the work you're putting in or the work ethic you're trying to achieve to accomplish a goal. It has to be equal. So, as much faith as you need to have as much work. Let those two coexist at the same frequency, then you will achieve the era that you want to be in. And at that point, it's kind of guaranteed because everything's in alignment. Now, whatever time span or how long it takes for those things to get in alignment, that's up to the universe and to God or whatever you believe in. But as long as you believe within self, it will come because you have that faith and you have that work ethic and you're going to get there. It's just going to take time. Okay, let's keep going on into this conversation of becoming a self believer. Let's go back into I said I want to do everything. I'm in college now and I'm doing everything. I'm exploring everything and all my options. Now, my work ethic is aligning with my faith. I believe in those two things equally, and I'm putting as much work in as I can. So, therefore, I'm in the era of exploring everything. I'm dancing actively, in the gym actively. I am anchoring actively. I am going out for things that I want actively. You feel me? So, you have to get to a point in your life to where those things all are lining up and all those things are coexisting to become a self-believer. And I think that's the strongest trait you can have in yourself is believing in yourself, because nobody will believe in you unless you believe in yourself. I'm all about start with self, because most of the time that's what the issue is. You're not starting with self. And you have to start with self in order for these things to start aligning for you in the future. You can believe and achieve whatever you want. You really can. Everything is accessible while you're here on earth. And it might not feel like that, but you have to start gaining the mindset that it is right at my fingertips. And once you gain that mindset that everything that you want is right in your fingertips, that's just when you will see the power and the effort of self believing. That is all for today's episode of Transparency Tales. And y'all will see me again in another episode. I am Calandria Carter, and until next time, thank you for watching. Bye bye.